Brush Lady Bee Diggers lead going into the third quarter, 26-15. As this third quarter will begin momentarily.
We're trying to get Paul Acosta's attention over here, and he's not looking at us.
Kristen Berg, Kennedy Guzman, Emily Monarch, as well as Alex White and Carly Nichols for Brush. And for the Berthoud Spartans, it'll be Kendall Baker, Dylan Fagler, along with Hannah Haggis, Samantha Coons, and Lindsay Loberg. We begin the third. The Bee Diggers up by 11. With the basketball is Haggis on the outside left, picked up by White near the top to Coons. Back out to Fagler. Check that. That's Haggis. Down low to Fagler. She tried to bank and miss. And the rebound is controlled by Kristen Berg, her third rebound. Long pass to Alex White. Bee Diggers into the front court. Over to Guzman. Now on the left wing to Monarch. Back out to Guzman. Guzman to Monarch, just playing pitch and catch from the top of the key on the outside left. Here is Guzman. Back out to Monarch, left corner Nichols. She'll take the shot, and that's off the back of the rim. Alex White has the rebound, dribbles, and she misses as she went back up, and it almost went down. And it looked like Samantha Coons committed the foul from behind. She did. That'll be her third foul. And Alex White to the line, and Alex White, she did have the height, but there she really used her body to get that rebound.
Well, I was just going to say that's a huge mismatch right there. So if Alex can keep posting up Coons, then they're going to have the advantage the whole rest of the half.
Free throw is in by Alex White. You talk about adjustments. White has really made them. She's 5 out of 5 from the line, and the Bee Diggers lead by 12, and now by 13. That would be equivalent to a
butter.
baker's dozen. 28-15 Brush, 7:20 to go, third quarter. The winner advances to the championship game tomorrow night at 6 o'clock against the winner of the Eaton Valley game, which will be tonight at 6 o'clock. Loberg in the lane underneath the basket, and then the ball was kicked out of bounds by Alex White on that bounce pass attempt towards Samantha Coons. It will be Berthoud basketball, and to throw it in is Coons. In the left corner for Haggis, back out to Fagler. Lob down low for Coons in the lane, and then she threw it away into the hands of Kennedy Guzman. Here comes Alex White for Brush. White, the bounce pass over to Monarch, left baseline. And then the shot is up and in, and that's a foul, and the Bee Diggers now have extended the lead as Emily Monarch scores. And the foul was committed by Kendall Baker. That's her second foul. 13 turnover for Berthoud. Bee Diggers now lead by 15. A nice move off the glass there by Emily Monarch as the free throw is up, and that is in. And Brush has now blown this thing open with 6:57 to go, third quarter. Bee Diggers up 31-15. On the outside right, Coons dribbling towards the right baseline. Over to Dylan Fagler in the lane all the way, scoops it up off the glass and in. Nice strong move by Dylan Fagler. She's got 4. Pressure being put on by the Spartans in the backcourt. Bee Diggers break the light press on the outside left. Monarch with the basketball over to Guzman at the top. Guzman over to Monarch on the high left. Lob down low, tipped away, intended for Nichols, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. Bee Diggers retain possession. At 502 Ensign in downtown Fort Morgan, the place to shop for all of your appliance needs is B&B Appliance, a member of the Brand Source retail program. Guzman to throw it in. Still looking. Back out to Monarch, now to Guzman in the corner. Over to Monarch on the outside left. Dribbling to her right. The Bee Diggers will be patient on offense with a 14-point lead. Guzman with the basketball between her legs at the top for Monarch. Fakes the three. Over to Guzman. Left corner for Nichols. Penetrates left baseline. Puts up the shot. That's going to be short. And the ball is rebounded by Kendall Baker. Here comes Berthoud the other way. Baker off the glass and in. She went coast to coast and scored over Emily Monarch. Now a 12-point Bee Digger lead, 31-19. They can't get too complacent here with 5:56 to go in the third. On the outside left is Monarch with the basketball. Entry pass is poked out of bounds by Baker. Bee Diggers retain possession. And to throw it in along that left corner will be Kennedy Guzman. Guzman looking. Gets it to Berg on the high left to Guzman in the left corner. Penetrating left baseline. Then she was fouled. Hannah Haggis commits the foul as she was driving towards the basket. And that'll be Haggis' first foul. Guzman to trigger it in. Guzman lobs it down low towards Monarch. The ball's going to go in the backcourt, but it was not touched. And it's taken over there by Alex White, who dribbles across midcourt. Near the top for Guzman. Guzman on the outside left of Monarch. Monarch cross court to Berg. Berg near the top, back to her left towards White. The ball is picked off, intercepted over there by Samantha Kuhn. She lays it up too strong, and the rebound to Alex White, but she kicked the ball off her foot. Then it's laid up and in by Fagler. Teams exchange turnovers, and all of a sudden the Brush lead is down to 10. 31-21. It's a 6-0 run by Berthoud. Bounce pass to Berg. Cross-court bounce pass inside to Monarch. Lost the ball, got it back, puts it up, and she's fouled as she missed. But the Beatdiggers have got to tighten up on defense here. The foul was on Hannah Haggis, her second. Here's Emily Monarch at the line, your one-stop center for projects around your home office or yard is Ackley Building Center at 1402 Mill Street in Brush. The free throw is up and perfect. Emily Monarch has 4 points, all in the quarter. Second free throw by the senior. As she spins, delivers, and that one is off the back of the rim. Beatdiggers missed their first free throw after making their first 8. 32-21 Brush. 5 minutes to go, third quarter. On the outside right is Loberg for Berthoud. Back out to Coons. Near the top for Haggis. On the outside right to Coons. Entry pass to Flagler in the lane. Puts up the hook shot. Good for Dylan Fagler. She has 6 in the quarter. 8 in the game. The Beatdigger lead is down to 9. They were up by 16 moments ago. 32-23. 4:40 to go, third quarter in this Patriot League Tournament semifinal. Nichols will take the three. Good! She drills the triple from the left corner. They backed off, and now just a net issue. But the Beatdiggers have now gone back up by 12. And for Carly Nichols, that was her first points of the game. And that was a huge shot considering the momentum that Berthoud was starting to establish. Haggis with a basketball. Bounce pass in the lane to Fagler. Fagler tries to hook it up and does, and she misses. And the ball is rebounded over there by Kristen Berg. That's her fourth rebound. Beatdiggers trying to extend a 12-point lead. Guzman with a basketball. Bounce pass to White. Her shot is up and good from the right baseline for Alex White from about 15 feet away. And the Beatdiggers now lead 37-23. White has 4 in the quarter, 12 in the game. And even 4 minutes to go in the third. Here's Coons, a parking lot three. That's well short off the bottom of the rim. Ball is loose to the floor. It's knocked out of bounds. It's going to go off Kristen Berg. Berthoud retains possession. Laurier will check in for Brush. And Taylor Bezanson for Berthoud. Emily Monarch will take a seat for the Beatdiggers. Samantha Coons is on the bench now for Berthoud. And here comes Bailey Craich, who had a very valuable contribution when Kristen Berg was in foul trouble.
She did, and she does a good job. She works hard all the time, and she just does the little things.
Sparge to throw it in. Bezanson back out to Haggis near that right corner, dribbling towards the top, spinning on Delorier. Over to Kendall Baker. Baker against Guzman on the high left. Bezanson, and she fell down. Now she tried to roll the ball over, does to Baker. No traveling violation on the high right to Haggis. Near that right corner, taken by Loberg. Back out to Baker against Guzman. Dribbles by Guzman, pulls up from 12, fouled from behind. And again, that's what I talked about at halftime. They get to the line, make them earn that. You don't want to foul from behind from about 12 to 15 feet away. Guzman commits her second, and Kendall Baker to the stripe with the Beatdiggers up by 14. And the free throw is good by Kendall Baker at 417 Main Street in Fort Morgan, Platte Valley Hearing Center, getting your hearing to its very best. Platte Valley Hearing Center. Berg was out for just seconds. She's back in. Alex White is out.
I'm guessing she got some information.
Second free throw's in the air, and that's off the back of the rim. And Beatdiggers didn't box out at all. And Berg knocked the ball out of bounds, and that's because Lindsay Loberg snuck in there and was able to force that little mishap by the Beatdiggers. And Bezanson to throw it in with Brush up by a baker's dozen. 37-24 with 3:36 to go in the third. Bezanson lobs it on the outside right to Baker against Guzman. Dribbles right of the lane, puts up a runner, and that's no good. The ball is tipped around 2-3 times. Taken by Baker underneath the basket. And then we got a pushing foul against the Beatdiggers. And I think Brush is getting a little lackadaisical here in this series because that foul was committed by Kristen Berg. That's her third. I mean, the Beatdiggers have one of their bigger teams out there right now with both Berg and Craich out there. Here is the lob left of the lane. And the three-pointer by Haggis is off to the left. And the rebound is controlled by Dylan Fagler. And here's another three by Baker. That's off to the right. And Bezanson tries to save it in and does not. It'll be Beatdigger basketball.
That goes back to those 50-50 balls. If we're not willing to hustle and go get those and make them think about that, then they're going to get into our heads a little bit and cut this lead.
Well, it was down to 9. It's up to 13 for Brush. 37-24 over Berthoud. 3:07 to go in the third. Here's Guzman at the top for Delorier. Lobs it down low for Nichols off her hand, and it's taken away by Bezanson. Only the 7th turnover for Brush. Bezanson across midcourt on the outside right to Haggis. Picked up by Nichols. Back out to Bezanson, and then that entry pass is poked away, intercepted by Guzman. Here is Delorier. The Beat Diggers might have to slow it down over to Nichols, and then she's fouled along the left baseline, and that's a good foul there by Lindsay Loberg because Kristen Berg was standing by herself underneath the basket. Loberg commits her first, and Guzman to throw it in. With 2:48 to go, third quarter, and the Beat Diggers up by 13. Guzman looking for a cutter. Finds Berg on the outside left. At the top for Guzman. Guzman to her left to Nichols. Takes a dribble, bounce pass left baseline to turn around. That's a miss over there, but Bailey Craich gets the rebound, and she scores. I think it might have been Delorier that missed the initial shot, but Craich scores. She's got 6 in the game. The Beat Diggers up by 15, 39-24. Here's Fagler into the lane. Back out to Bezanson. Straight away to Baker on the outside right to Haggis. Right of the free throw line is Fagler spinning, penetrating right baseline. The runner's off the side of the backboard. And we've got a tie-up between Bailey Craich of Brush and Lindsay Loberg of Berthoud. It will be Beat Digger basketball with 2:16 remaining third quarter. Brush 39, Berthoud 24. Your one-stop shop for all of your banking and investment needs, from checking to savings to IRAs, is Morgan Federal Bank, 321 Ensign Street, Morgan Federal Bank. There's a difference. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Guzman into the lane, lost the basketball. Then it's going to be taken away by Baker. She wrestled the ball away. Baker with a 1-on-2 over to Bezanson, who banks and scores. Check that. That's Savannah Paig, who just checked into the game. 39-26 Brush. 1:52 remaining third quarter. Left corner, Nichols, 3 in the air, is short. And the ball is tipped around into the hands of Bezanson, her first board. On the outlet to Baker. Baker will set up the offense for the Spartans. On the outside right to Bezanson. Back out to Baker. On the outside left to Coons with a chest pass. At the top, Baker down low off the hand of Paig. Intercepted by Monarch. 16 turnover for Berthoud. Into the front court is Delorier. Left baseline Craich. Back out to Delorier through her hands. Picked up by Guzman, though. Guzman in the lane, lost the basketball. And now we've got a Guzman foul as it was picked up by Taylor Bezanson. And Guzman commits the foul after the turnover. That's her third foul. It will be Berthoud basketball with 1:18 to go. And Guzman will take a breather. I think that's a good substitution right there. And into the game is Melissa Wailert. Baker with a basketball on the outside right to Coons. Well beyond the three-point line, over to Baker. On the high left to Bezanson. Down low, Fagler all the way. She's fouled as she drove to the basket. She snuck her way in there towards the hoop. And she will go to the line as the lefty was fouled by Carly Nichols. That's her third. And the Fagler free throw is off to the right. Fagler had 2 points at halftime, now 6 in the third. Second free throw by Fagler is up, and that's off to the right. And the ball is wrestled away. There's going to be a tie-up. Craich, I thought, had it, but Bezanson stayed with it. Possession arrow to Berthoud. So to throw it in will be Samantha Coons. In the right corner to Baker. Down low, the entry pass goes right through everybody and take it away. Well, through everybody being Berthoud. Delorier has it fouled at midcourt by Samantha Coons. And for Coons, that's her fourth foul. And Berthoud just killing themselves with turnovers at 17.
Well, I think Coons is getting frustrated, and so she's making silly mistakes.
Wailert throws it into the backcourt to Delorier. Delorier near the top, dribbling to her right, gets a pick from Wailert. Crossover dribble against Baker, bounce pass to White. White, that is. Now there's a traveling violation by Nichols along the left baseline. The Beat Diggers have doubled their turnover output from halftime. They had 5 at halftime, now have 10 in the game. With 46 seconds to go in the third, and Brush is up 39-26. Bezanson back out to Baker. Down low for Fagler, foul from behind. Fagler fouled by Nichols on the entry pass. That's going to be her fourth. And to throw it in will be Bezanson. Beat Diggers have 5 team fouls, and Berthoud with 6. We could see quite a few free throws. And Emma Mortensen checks in for the Bead Diggers. Bezanson, left baseline Haggis, 12-footer, very short. Mortensen has the rebound for the Bead Diggers. Over to Delorier, long pass down low to Krejci, was wide open, but then she missed the shot off the back of the rim as the defense caught up. And the rebound controlled by Bezanson. Baker the other way for Berthoud. 22 seconds to go in the third. Bead Diggers up by 13. With the basketball is Baker in front of the Berthoud bench. At the top for Bezanson. Entry pass for Fagler. Left baseline pass for Haggis. Cross court to Baker. Right baseline to Haig. Back out on the left wing. Taken over there by Haggis. On the outside right, Baker. Down low, and the shot is up and made off the glass by Savannah Paig. That's a nice look, and that's the final point, or points there of the third quarter with the score. Brush 39, Berthoud 28 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Jen Goodall back for the University of Northern Colorado in Greeley in this Patriot League Tournament semifinal. Rush Bead Diggers lead the Berthoud Spartans 39-26. The Bead Diggers had the basketball first. Here's Alex White, 15-footer is short, and the ball is loose and rebounded by Savannah Paig of Berthoud. On the outlet to Kendall Baker. Out there with Taylor Bezanson, Dylan Fagler, and Hannah Haggis, who has the basketball at the top. Kennedy Guzman, Alex White, Jordan Delorier, Kristen Berg, and Emily Monarch for Brush. And the shot is up and in on the right baseline inside the three-point line by Savannah Paig. And the Bead Digger lead is down to single digits, 39-30. Both teams scored 13 in the quarter. Here's Alex White spinning in the left corner. Back out to Guzman. Guzman on the outside right against Baker. Looking towards the right baseline to Delorier. Lobs it down low for Berg. Turns, shoots, fouled as she misses. Kristen Berg to the line, and she put that up despite being double-teamed.
Well, and I think, if you're the Brush Bead Diggers, you have to take advantage of our size, and we haven't really gone inside as much as I think we can. If they're willing to post up and get the guards or the wing people to shove that in there, it's going to be tough for Berthoud to stay with us.
The free throw by Berg is in. Dylan Fagler commits the foul. Berg has scored for the first time since the first quarter. Second free throw upcoming for Kristen Berg, and that's in the air, and that's perfect. She's got 6 in the game.
The Berthoud coach wants something I can't tell from here.
Yeah, Randy Earl is somewhere along the sideline. I don't know what he's questioning at this point. Nonetheless, Berthoud will have the basketball with a 41-30 game. With the Bead Diggers in the lead with 7 minutes to go. Haggis with the basketball near the top to Baker. Entry pass to Bezanson, and the turning and the missing of the shot there. Actually, that was by Paig. But the ball's knocked out of bounds by Monarch. And it will be Berthoud basketball. All right, Bezanson to throw it in. Lobs it near the top. Terrible pass intercepted by Delorier. 18 turnover, 2-on-1. Delorier bounce pass to Guzman. Banks and scores to the left of the basket. Nice execution by the Bead Diggers on that play. Guzman with 4. The Bead Diggers back up to a double-digit lead, 43-30, with 6:39 to go in the game. Baker's runner in the lane is up and off to the right. Rebound to Alex White. The Bead Diggers are going to slow this thing down, up by 13. Guzman on the outside left to White. White against Paig. Back out to Guzman. On the outside right to Delorier. Dribbling to her right. Picks up the dribble. Lobs it down low for Berg. And Berg's going to knock it out of bounds as she was double-teamed trying to receive that pass, and it was initially poked away by Baker. The Bead Diggers commit their 11th turnover of the game. Committed to serving those in production. Ag, Premier Farm Credit, is the gold standard in ag lending. Paig with a basketball back out to Baker. Near the top to Haggis. On the outside right to Baker. In the right corner for Paig. They're going to back it out and slowly work this thing around, but Berthoud can't take too much time on offense. They're down with 6 minutes to go. The turnaround, the hook is up and in by Savannah Paig. I guess that worked to perfection. She's got 8 in the half, 9 in the game. Brush 43, Berthoud 32 with 5:49 to go. Alex White on the outside left, dribbling left baseline, pulls up from 12, got the bottom of the net, and the ball is taken on one hop by Hannah Haggis. That's her 4th board. Haggis into the front court. They can cut it to single digits once again. On the outside right to Baker. Baker dribbling to her right against Alex White, backs it out to Haig. On the right wing to Baker. Back out to Paig, over to Baker, penetrating right baseline. Jump pass is poked out of bounds, and it went off of Baker. Initially, it hit a Bead Digger, but then it hit Baker. So that's turnover number 19 for Berthoud. And a timeout called by the Spartans with 5:26 to go. Brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions, taking as much pride in the community just as they do in the products they provide to their consumers. Cargill Meat Solutions, parts of the KSIR B106 scholarship program. So the Bee Diggers holding a 43-32 lead. But credit Berthoud, I mean, they're hanging around, even though the Bee Diggers still have control of the game, but it's not totally comfortable if you're a Brush fan.
No, it's not totally comfortable, and what they've done on offense to offset the 1-3-1 now is they've shifted their 4-out-2 into 2-1-2. So what they're doing is they're passing the ball as soon as it goes to what we call the weak side. The ball goes to the strong side. The weak side post is then pushing our post up, and they're getting that nice little swing pass in there from the weak side, and they're getting that score.
Well, you have to believe that Berthoud's going to pressure now and try to force a turnover in the backcourt. The Bee Diggers are good at breaking that press, but they've got Kristen Berg, Kennedy Guzman, Alex White, Emily Monarch, and Jordan Delorier. It's Dylan Fagler, Hannah Haggis, Tyler Bezanson, Savannah Paig.
Looks like straight up man-to-man.
And Kendall Baker for Berthoud. In the backcourt, the pass to Delorier. Yeah, no doubt. Here's Delorier dribbling into the front court with a basketball, picks up her dribble, and dribbles along the left baseline, and then she lost the ball out of bounds. Nope, she didn't pick up the dribble. We just lost vision there because Delorier just kept going. The Bee Diggers turned it over for a 12th time. Again, Berthoud can make it a single-digit game. Baker on the outside, left to Bezanson. Down low in the lane is Fagler. She tried to bank and missed. And the rebound controlled by Emily Monarch. That's her 6th. 5 minutes to go. Long pass to White. White fakes a three, steps in, 17-footer. Hit nothing but the backboard, but Kennedy Guzman has the rebound for the Bee Diggers on the outside. Right to White at the top for Guzman. Fakes the three, dribbles into the lane. Then her runner's off the glass and way too strong. And the rebound to Guzman. She goes back up and is fouled. The Bee Diggers missed a couple of shots very badly there, but they're going to the line.
They are, and I kind of think, that Kennedy was going to try and get the pass to Kristen Berg. However, vision got blocked a little bit, and so she didn't make the pass. Instead, went up with the shot and got the foul.
Taylor Bezanson commits the foul, and the free throw's in by Guzman. Second free throw upcoming. Bee Diggers lead 44-32. Second free throw in the air is perfect by Kennedy Guzman. Brushed back up by 13. They've led by as many as 16 in the game. 45-32 with 4:38 to go. Baker bounced past to Fagler in the lane against Berg. Back out. Ball tipped away by Delorier. Nearly tied up by Delorier. Here's Bezanson, 12-footer. Off the glass, no good. Ball is trying to be saved, and it is. But to a Bee Digger. Alex White has the basketball. White to Guzman. Long pass to Berg off her hands. Retrieved by Monarch. Monarch scoops, scores. Nope, they're going to say it was on the floor. So the foul is against the Spartans. And the foul is against Taylor Bezanson again.
Well, and I credit Emily for even getting that up. She got hit right in the head.
Emily Monarch will go to the line. 1-on-1 situation. That was a 19th foul committed by Berthoud. And the free throw is up, and that's going to be around and no good. And the rebound is controlled by Savannah Paig. That's her second. Brush 45, Berthoud 32. 4:14 to go in this Patriot League Tournament semifinal. The winner plays tomorrow night at 6 o'clock against the winner of tonight's 6 o'clock game between Eaton and Valley. Paig with a basketball. Bounce pass back out to Baker. Down low for Fagler in the lane against Monarch. Double team. Kicks it back out to Haggis. Here's the shot up and around and no good. Missed by Bezanson along the left baseline. And Berg is fouled off the rebound in the backcourt, and she'll go to the line for the double bonus.
I keep waiting for one of the Brush players to step in at the high post and take that pass away like they were doing in the first half. They've kind of stopped doing that.
That is foul number 4 for Dylan Fagler. And here is Berg to the stripe to shoot 2. She's got 6 points in the game. The free throw by the sophomore is in the air, and that is up and in. It took a high bounce off the back of the rim and went through. Samantha Coons replaces Taylor Bezanson for Berthoud. Jordan Delorier is out for Brush, and Carly Nichols is in. Second free throw upcoming for Kristen Berg. That one's in the air, and that one is pretty. That's in. She's got 8. Rush 47, Berthoud 32 with 3:53 to go as the Bead Diggers are going for their 19th win of the season. Coons with the basketball near the right corner to Paig. Back out to Baker. Bounce pass down low for Fagler in the lane. Left baseline Coons. 12-footer in the air is off the back of the rim. And the rebound controlled by Alex White. Unofficially her 8th. On the outlet pass to Guzman. Guzman across the timeline. Picked up by Baker. On the high left to White. In the left corner for Nichols. Penetrates left baseline. Cut off over there. Back out to White. Straight away for Guzman against Baker. Left wing for White. Bounce pass to Nichols. Post. Turn. Shoots. Scores. Off the glass. Well, that's the Carly Nichols that we're accustomed to seeing. Only 5 points in the game. Bead Diggers now lead by 17. Their biggest advantage. 49-32 with 3:09 to go. Fagler against Berg in the lane, and she is fouled, and Berg has committed her 4th as Fagler missed the shot. She will go to the stripe. So here's Dylan Fagler. The Bead Diggers are now in firm control of this one. And the free throw by the lefty is up and off the left side of the rim. Boy, they have destroyed themselves with missed free throws. That's 11. Make it 12 now in the game and make it 13 in and out. Carly Nichols has the rebound for Brush. Guzman with less than 3 minutes to go. Into the front court against Baker on the outside left to White. White to her right. Bounce pass down low for Nichols. Dribbles. Bounce pass to Berg, and she banks and misses, but she's fouled. What good interior passing by the Bead Diggers in very tight windows. And the foul was committed by Kendall Baker, her 3rd. And Kristen Berg to the line.
The entries from Kennedy and Alex are getting much better into the post. Therefore, they're able to do that little high-low or the cross pass.
And the free throw is in and out by Kristen Berg. Second free throw upcoming. The Bead Diggers defeated Berthoud by 14 during the regular season. Second free throw is up, and that's a swish. 5 out of 6 from the line is Berg. Bead Diggers 50, Berthoud Spartans 32. With 2:48 to go for the University of Northern Colorado and Greeley. On the outside left is Haggis. In the left corner for Fagler. Back out to Coons. Near the top to Baker into the lane. Bounce pass, right baseline to Haggis. Steps in. Then the shot looked like it was blocked, but a foul. If that's on Berg, she's fouled up, but I think it's on Alex White. Yep. And it will be. That's going to be her 2nd. Hannah Haggis to the line.
I was going to argue if it was called on Berg because she was there quite a while.
Or you really weren't going to argue, but I know what you mean. First free throw is in.
Well, I was going to make a statement.
Right, that's, yeah.
Okay. If you're going to be technical.
No, that's all right. Second free throw is up and good. We'll get to the other results here as a full timeout has been called. We'll keep it right here. Earlier today in the consolation games, it was the Meade girls beating University 39-34, and the Estes Park girls over Weld Central 42-39. So coming up in the 7th place game tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, Weld Central girls will take on University. That is an elimination game because of the 8 teams that are playing here at the University of Northern Colorado. I'm already thinking back to last week with the wrestling. 7 of those 8 teams will advance to the 32-team regional and state tournament. Now on the boys' side earlier today, it was Berthoud beating University 44-32. And Meade getting by Weld Central 58-50. So Weld Central will play University tomorrow morning at 10:30, and the loser of that game will have their season come to an end. So Weld Central and University playing for 7th place on both the boys and girls sides. Guzman to throw it into White. Berthoud applying pressure. Backcourt pass to Guzman against Baker. Lost control, and it's loose just behind midcourt. And it's still loose. It's volleyballed around there and picked up by Berthoud, and Guzman commits the foul. Yeah, I think Kennedy in the second half has struggled a bit with her dribbling.
Yeah.
Way too many mishaps there. And that's the 18th foul against the Bead Diggers. Hannah Haggis to the line. And the free throw is up and in. With 2:26 to go, 50-35 in favor of the Bead Diggers. Second free throws in the air. That's perfect. Haggis has 8 points in the game, 50-36. Backcourt pressure being applied. Guzman against Baker in the backcourt. Guzman crossover dribble. Nice job by Guzman into the front court. Now she's established control. Back out to White. The Bee Diggers will spread it out. Up by 14. White at the free throw line. Left corner for Nichols. Back out to Guzman. Guzman against Baker. Dribbles to her right. Guzman dribbles by Baker in the lane. Right baseline pass to Berg. She misses the little 10-footer. And the rebound to Baker. Stripped away by Nichols. She banks and scores. What a job there by Carly Nichols, who all of a sudden has caught fire in this fourth quarter. And the Bee Diggers up 52-36. A minute 45 to go. With a basketball in the right corner is Savannah Peg. Back out to Haggis. Entry pass for Fagler all the way. Scoops it up off the glass and in for Dylan Fagler. Timeout for Berthoud. Just a 30-second timeout. And the Bee Digger lead is down to 14, but it's 52-38. With a minute 35 remaining, we'll have the boys game coming up. More than likely, that'll be about a 7:45 to 8 o'clock start, with the Brush Boys taking on the Valley Vikings in a Patriot League Tournament semifinal. For all of your auto supply needs, stop by Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. So backcourt pressure will be applied here by the Spartans. Guzman to throw it in. See, the Bee Diggers might execute that baseball pass that they've been good at in years past. Monarch is going to wait for the pass, and it's tipped away, but a foul as it was tipped away by Coons, but into the hands of Monarch. Then she was hacked. So to the line is Emily Monarch.
She didn't have quite enough mustard on that one.
No.
Didn't lead her very well, but still worked out. And I think that's Coons' fifth, right?
She is fouled out with 2 points. Emily Monarch to the stripe for the double bonus. With a minute 33 remaining. Brush 52. Berthoud 38. The free throw is in the air and perfect. The Bee Diggers lead by 15. They've led by as many as 17 in the game. Berthoud had a 10-7 lead early. Then the Bee Diggers established control. Second free throw is in. Monarch in the game has 6 points, all in this half. Rush 54, Berthoud 38. Baker traveled. She was caught in between decisions. I think part of the reason was because she had a teammate to her right that kind of blocked her vision. And Berthoud has now committed 21 turnovers to Brush's 13. White is pressured in the backcourt over to Guzman. Front court pass to Monarch. Monarch towards the top against Bazanzin. Got to watch out for behind. Bounce pass right corner for Berg. Berg looking to her left. Back out to Guzman with a minute 15 to go. Guzman against Baker. Dribbling by Baker into the lane. Left corner for Nichols. Back out near the timeline to White. Beautifully executed by Brush. White at the top. Right baseline for Berg. Back out to Monarch against Taylor Bazanzin. A minute to go in the game, and Bazanzin fouls Monarch. And that's Bazanzin's third foul. With 59.2 to go at the stripe is Emily Monarch.
It looks like Coach George is going to clear his bench, give these players a little rest before tomorrow's game.
The Monarch free throws in the air, and that is off the back of the rim. Emma Mortensen, one of the Bee Diggers, into the game. And the Bee Diggers have several others.
Ellie Monarch and Kelsey Blake and Shelby Wolliver.
Second free throw to be attempted by Emily Monarch is up, and that's perfect.
And Melissa Whalert will be coming in for her.
With the Bee Diggers up 55-38 with 59.2 to go. And to throw it in will be Savannah Peg. Berthoud will play tomorrow at 3 o'clock against the loser of the Eaton Valley game. Fagler all the way banks and scores. To the left of the basket, strong move for Dylan Fagler, 10 in the half, 12 in the game. Here's a long pass for Emma Mortensen, off her hands out of bounds. Turnover number 14 for Brush with 42 and a half to go. The Bee Diggers up 55-40. And it looks like Berthoud is clearing the bench with some players that are not on the roster either, at least on ours.
Can't help you with those.
Kendall Baker still in the game, though, as is Dylan Fagler. So here come the Spartans. With 39 seconds to go, Baker with the basketball. Entry pass for Fagler. Down low, the shot is up, and a block there by Ellie Monarch. Bee Diggers take the basketball away. Into the front court is Melissa Whalert. And the Bead Diggers will slow this thing down and secure their 19th victory of the year. Whalert with 20 seconds to go, dribbling to her right, picks up the dribble, then she traveled. So Berthoud will more than likely have just one final possession. The Bead Diggers have only lost this year to Holy Family and perhaps tomorrow night's opponent, Eaton. In the lane, Fagler had the shot blocked by Mortensen. Excellent block by Emma Mortensen. She comes away with the basketball. 9 seconds to go in the game. Front court pass. The Bead Diggers have got it with 5 seconds to go. And that should be the end of the game, dribbling out the clock as Baker records the steal, then a foul with 0.3 of a second to go.
On Kelsey Blake.
So Baker will go to the line. So Kendall Baker will pad her stats. The Bead Diggers have committed their 19th foul, so this is a 1-and-1. The free throw by Baker is off to the right, and that's the end of the game. With a final score, Brush 55, Berthoud 40, as the Lady Bead Diggers advance to the Patriot League Tournament Championship game tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. We'll recap this 15-point win after this on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. John Beltran, Jen Goodall back for the University of Northern Colorado in Greeley as we welcome you to the Bead Digger post-game show brought to you by Buildings by Design. The most important thing to buying a new building or starting a new design-build project is picking the right company to build it. For a free bid, call Pat Walter or Travis Lefevre, 970-842-5837. Visit them on the web at buildingsbydesign.com. The Lady Bead Diggers are in the Patriot League Tournament Championship game as they defeat the Berthoud Spartans 55-40. Brush led 16-10 after one, and then outscored Berthoud 10-5 in the second quarter for an 11-point lead at the break. Both teams scored 13 in the third. Brush was up 39-28, went up by as many as 17 in the fourth, as they actually scored 16 points in the quarter to 12 for Berthoud to secure the 15-point win. Berthoud tonight was led by Dylan Fagler with 12 points, 9 apiece for Kendall Baker and Savannah Pegg, 8 points by Hannah Haggis and 2 by Samantha Coons. The Bead Diggers had 12 points from Alex White, 9 in the game from Kristen Berg, and 8 points, I should say, from Jordan Delorier, 7 apiece for Emily Monarch and Carly Nichols, and 6 points from Bailey Craich. The Bead Diggers committed 16 turnovers to 21 for Berthoud. At the break, it was only a 7 turnover disadvantage for Berthoud, as the Bead Diggers only had 5 turnovers by halftime and really did a nice job of securing the basketball in the opening half. Rebounding situation, the Bead Diggers had 29 in the game, 8 of those from Alex White, and Berthoud had 24, 8 of those from Kendall Baker. A big difference in this game was at the free throw line, a massive difference. Berthoud was 11 out of 23, a shade under 50%, and the Bead Diggers were 18 out of 22. They were 81% in the game. Bead Diggers advanced to the tournament championship game tomorrow, as we mentioned, at 6 o'clock against either Eaton or Valley. And quite frankly, Jen, as well as the Bead Diggers played here, they're going to have to play even better in that game tomorrow night.
Well, and whoever it is, you know, they played both of those games, I believe, were a struggle at times. They had a lot of turnovers in both of those games, and both of those teams and their coaches are very well matched. So they know each other really well, having done summer stuff as well as during the regular season. So it's going to be a battle, regardless of who it is.
As for Berthoud, they will play tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say, at 3 o'clock in the third place game against the loser of tonight's 6 o'clock game between Eaton and Valley. Keep in mind that at 7:30, although the game more than likely will start closer to 8 o'clock, we'll have the Patriot League Tournament semifinal between the Brush Boys, which are seeded 5th, and Valley, which is the top seed. All right, outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, Braden Snyder. For Jen Goodall, I'm John Beltran. The final score of this Patriot League Tournament semifinal, the Brush Lady Bead Diggers defeat the Berthoud Spartans 55-40, right here on 1010 KSIR and on the World Wide Web at KSIR.com.